He was supposed to be the new Spielberg. But after iconic successes like The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs and The Village, it all started to fall apart.
So how about trying to write a movie without a big twist ending?
M. Night Shyamalan has been a critical punching bag with some of the worst reviewed movies of the last decade. But the twist is that his brand new film, The Visit, which he shot entirely in secret, paid for himself, follows two kids visiting their estranged grandparents, might just be the first step towards the redemption of M. Night Shyamalan.
We think there's someone outside the door. What the hell was that?
How comfortable are you being known as the twist guy?
It's not obviously how I think of myself at all, you know? I mean, you know, it's like, he does the moonwalk, he does the moonwalk, do the moonwalk. You're like, oh geez, you know? Yeah. It's not, but I don't think of it that way. It doesn't burden me when I write. So I don't really think of it as that. I get that that's what people say, or a bunch of people say, but breaking that is just as exciting as you know, fulfilling it. Whether there's something dramatic or not dramatic that happens, a paradigm shift that happens is unimportant to me. It's really about the characters and their journey that are going. And if I'm listening to them, have I fully listened to them, or have I put my agenda on it, which is always the struggle that goes on. That's my job.
Lady in the Water is literally, without hyperbole, one of the worst motion pictures in the history of film.
It historically bad. A terrible film, I think we can all agree.
Yes.
The Happening.
I hate this movie with a passion. I hate it so much.
Before you made this film, you were saying you were trapped inside your head. What does that mean? When you say you were trapped inside your head, what did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, dealing with the repercussions of fame and expectations, all of those things are really suffocating, but I always strive to try to understand them, not beat them. You know what I mean? That your survival gut tells you to try to win. But really, when you're at peace, you just understand it, you know, and then you're fine, you know.
And got
it.
Let's reset it. Right.
I would like to believe that I'm the guy that can go, I just now came up with an idea that I know is going to be subversive and polarizing, and I have to make it.
Could you clean the oven for me, Becca?
But the cowardly side of me would say, no, you probably would tack away from that and try to be a little bit more accepted, you know? So that's the struggle, like you're in your head, you're always that way. But making smaller movies has allowed me to break free of that kind of thinking. And you come into the living room and there he is.
So, you made a film kind of in secret.
Yeah.
And you paid for it yourself as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. You know, it was just a desire to, I would like to believe if I was a professional basketball player, that I would have in my contract that I'm allowed to go and stop at any playground, tie on my sneakers and go play basketball.
Yeah.
In fact, the opposite is true in the NBA contracts. You're not allowed to go play anywhere because they're scared you're gonna get hurt and all this stuff. But to keep it the game is what I'm talking about. You know, to keep it the love of what you do. And this was that kind of, you know, I always said to myself, like, I would love it to be like, let's take everyone in Hollywood and say, you have only X amount of money and your imagination. Go do whatever you can, you know, and for me, that's all you ever need, is like a minimum amount of money and your imagination, and go tell this incredible story.
So it's kind of an exercise in, can I make this from my raw skill?
Yeah, you know, for me, the other stuff, you know, the trailers, all of those things that come with, you know, the cranes and all of that stuff, that's all fun and wonderful, and, you know, but it isn't storytelling, and it doesn't end up on screen most of the time. A lot of the money doesn't end up on screen, and in The Visit, obviously every single dollar ended up on screen, and that's so satisfying. And there's something about literally eating a sandwich and sitting on the set and waiting for everybody to come back from lunch break that reminds you, and you know what you're doing, and for whatever reason, you're sitting there and you're going, you look in the kitchen counter and you go, I wonder if I did this shot, and I wonder if I did that shot, or you come up with the exact thing you want to work on, or something that was nagging you from the morning, and that's the version of the filmmaker that you want to be, the all in.
And then, like, that's where they'll be with the
Every film you do is a is quite personal. It's a piece of you that you put on screen at a certain time in your life. What is this film saying about you right now in 2015?
Well, I think wow, that's a good question. I think the first thing that came to mind was that what happens is, as a writer, I do this. I write a scene, or I write an outline, or I write a character moment, and I go, why is that working so well for me? And then I analyze it. Why does that feel like a sweet spot? Why does that feel so comfortable? Why does it feel so right? And then invariably, I have a board at home in my library, and then I'll write down like gut things, not from your analytic side, but from your intuitive. You don't even know why you're writing it. And I'll write down forgiveness. And then I was like, wow, you know, that scene's also about forgiveness. You know what? This whole thing is about forgiveness. You know what? This whole thing that's going on is about forgiveness. And then I realized that's the movie I'm making.
Where in the world do you feel most creative?
When I'm not thinking of it as a business, you know, when I think about it more about like me going and seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark and what I felt when I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark in the theater, and that kind of awe, and coming back and pretending I was, oh, the pillow's falling on me, it's a boulder, you know, like when you're a kid, like that thing, that's the same thing. The need to go, oh, the pillow's falling on me, it's a boulder, I have to run from the boulder. That need to tell, that excitement, that sort of becoming another character, wanting to be that character. It's the greatest feeling in the world. When you come up with a great idea or a great moment, a great scene, that high you get, it's like, can't beat it.
M. Night, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was lovely to meet you.